Okay, people, let's start. Okay, I want to start with a 2-second prayer. What the heck, I'm a priest, I have to do that stuff. So, Lord God, you're the God of all the world. You know, now we're like 6,000 miles apart and still talking with each other. So we thank you for this gift of technology. We ask that however far away we are from each other, we become close to each other by drawing closer to you. And when we form that community, please teach us how to make it a community of peace. Make our prayer in the name of the Prince of Peace. Our Lord. Amen. Okay, folks, thanks for coming, everybody. And I'm going to just give a couple of minutes of introduction here. Good to see you. A couple of minutes of introduction here. This is another one of the presentations from the Marquette University Center for Peacemaking. We've been here a little bit over 3 years, and we think we're the most active group on campus. One of the things that we're presenting today is that every summer we offer what we call Szymczak fellowships. There's a family called the Szymczak family, and they offered us a fellowship so that students could put nonviolence into practice. So what we do is we have you can have an application for a grant from the Center for Peacemaking. You go to our website, which is marquette.edu/peacemaking. All of the information is there on the back table. You go to that and you can fill out an application for the fellowships that are available. Usually you have to create your own projects in order to be able to be eligible for this. And then you're reviewed, and then if we think this is a good idea, then we give you that grant, and then you have to do all kinds of sharing like this. One of the things that we did do, we've sent people locally to the local Catholic Worker House, which is, 4 or 5 blocks away. And we've sent folks to the Urban Ecology Center, which is also here in Milwaukee. But also we've sent folks to the Middle East, to Bethlehem. We've sent folks to Liberia. We've sent folks to Kenya. We're really quite international. If you can come up with a really good program, then you're the people we want to work with. You know, and we want you to be part of the center and be part of this great peacemaking effort that we make here at Marquette and in the larger community as well. One of the most successful programs we accomplished was that we began to think that it might be a really good idea to work with the city of Milwaukee on nonviolent conflict resolution. So we thought, wow, this is a really great idea. We could begin to teach students in the Milwaukee public school systems and other learning centers how to solve problems nonviolently, both as individuals but also as a group. And that turned out to be a really good idea and a very, very successful program. The reason that it's been so successful is sitting here in the front row, and this is Yvette Murrell. Please stand up and have everybody say hello.
He's almost telling the truth. The truth is the students. Stand up, students. They're the
So Yvette works really, really well with the students, and then we sent students from Marquette to her so that she could train our students to work with folks and they could develop the skills of nonviolent peacemaking. 2 of the students that we sent to work with Yvette last year were Kathleen Scott and Elizabeth Bailey. They're going to be speaking unto us today because one of the things they thought they could do was they had been to South Africa. And they said, you know what, I'll bet you South Africa could really benefit from this kind of thing. So then they thought, well, you know what, we should have folks from Milwaukee who are doing these nonviolent conflict resolution circles. They should be talking to the folks from Cape Town, who are about the same age, who are doing nonviolent conflict resolution circles. And across 7,000 miles, we can begin to form communities of peacemakers. So that's what we're doing today. It's only one of the many projects that have been presented to us by students like yourselves and by graduate students too, that said, well, can you give us some money to bring this about? And we said, yeah, that's really great. These folks, Lizzie and Kathleen, are exceptional today in that they've already graduated, but they've been pursuing this program for 2 and 3 years. So even though they're graduated, we thought, well, we should still continue to fund them so they can continue this program of creating community there and in Milwaukee, and then bringing those communities together. This morning we got an email from Islamabad, Pakistan, and they want to do the same kind of thing. So we're hoping to be able to do that too. Anybody wants to travel to Pakistan? Oh, good. Yes, good. All right. Then we'll see what we can do there. Okay. So welcome everybody, and we're going to start, however, with Colleen O'Connor, who is another one of our awardees, and she's got some really important things to tell us about her outreach program, different from this outreach program, but it gets to see, we get a chance to see the different kinds of work that we're doing at the center. And again, please go to the website, check out our material over there. Colleen, come up and tell us a little bit about what you've done, please.
And then over the summer, I did a Szymczak project in Boy, Kenya, while working with St. Joseph's Shelter. St. Joseph's. This is St. Joseph's right up there. It is a non-governmental organization run by Kenyans. St. Joseph's does several things for the community. First, they treat close to 600 people for HIV. They also provide economic and social support for orphans and vulnerable children. And then additionally, they're currently building the first library for the town of Boy, so that people will have a place to access free education. I was familiar with St. Joseph's before I came there because of the student group Wachimishi. Wachimishi is a Marquette group of students which has been fundraising to build this library in Kenya for the past 6 years. So I was a part of it, and then when I was in Nairobi studying abroad, I figured I would check this place out and see what sort of work the Sisters of St. Joseph's were doing. And when I went there to meet them, I was talking over dinner with Sister Genevieve, the founder of St. Joseph's, and Sister Stella, one of the younger nuns. And we were talking about what sort of impact the library could have on the community. Which, one of the things that Sister Jen was most excited about was that this library would be a place for orphans and vulnerable children to come and do youth programs and have an educational place to learn about different things. So we kept talking for a while, and by the end of the night we thought it would be a great idea to apply for this fellowship that I was familiar with. And the program that we thought would be interesting was a program based around what peacemaking in a broader sense is, more so than just like being nonviolent or not hitting someone, looking at it in a much broader perspective. So we started working with 2 social workers, Duncan Wanju and Margaret Mahoney, and we started to organize this project. Well, actually, they selected 25 girls for the program who they thought could benefit from it. And then we began to meet every Saturday for 2 hours. And there were 2 components to this program every week. First, there was a group activity, which centered around our understanding of peacemaking. And we did a different activity focused on a different type of peacemaking each week. And then for the second hour, all the girls met with a mentor in the community who was one of 25 women who volunteered to meet with these girls interest in their lives. So for the group activities, we had 4 different themes. We looked at just defining peace in a broad sense, and then also we looked at overcoming HIV/AIDS stigma, which was an issue that was relevant to a lot of girls who are HIV positive themselves. Also, we looked at making peace in the environment. In Kenya, while they probably consume far less, there's just far less infrastructure for taking care of garbage and whatnot. So it's an interesting thing to look at. And then also overcoming interethnic violence was the 4th subject that we looked at. In 2007, after the elections in Kenya, there was violence along ethnic lines, and 1,300 people were killed because of their ethnicity. So it's a very important subject for the Kenyan people now. So a couple of the activities we did. Here is Duncan talking with the group. He's talking, we had just finished reading the book, What Does Peace Look Like? And so he's facilitating a discussion about what peace looks like, what the kids feel it would taste like, what it smells like. And also they wrote on the board all the different ways to say peace, which since in Kenya there's 42 different tribes, there's quite a few different ways that they knew how to say peace. Up here, in these 2 pictures, Jeff is a nurse at St. Joseph's, and he's leading a discussion about HIV/AIDS in Kenya. And then afterwards they broke up into small groups to discuss how to overcome HIV/AIDS stigma. And then these 2 pictures, here is Faith reading the book Planting the Trees of Kenya, the story of Wangari Maathai. We looked at this book because for these girls, Wangari Maathai is an excellent role model. She's a female Kenyan Nobel Peace Prize winner, and they enjoyed learning about how she was able to impact her environment. And then after that, we took a field trip to Salvo National Park, which here's the kids on the bus and then the giraffes we saw, which was a nice opportunity for them to appreciate their environment because Tsavo is the largest game park in Kenya, and it's 5 miles from Voi, but none of the kids or the mentors had ever been there because it costs a fortune. So that was the group activity portion of the program. And then after the group activity, we focused on one-on-one mentoring, which Duncan, Margaret, and I all felt pretty strongly that it was important for the one-on-one mentoring to happen, just because a lot of these girls lacked an internal peace. They didn't have parents, they didn't have someone who cared about them, who would talk to them. They didn't have anyone who they could turn to, even if they're HIV positive, even if they didn't know if they'd be able to go to secondary school. So for them to have someone in the community who they could turn to and say, hey, this is what's happening in my life, I think was pretty worthwhile for them. So here's some of the women in the community with the girls. And what we noticed, we left it open. We said they could work on homework if they wanted to, they could play games if they wanted to, but in general, they spent their hour talking. The girls just wanted to have someone to talk to as well.